For me, breaking barriers is not about achieving big. It is about refusing to let labels, circumstances, and losers define who you are. It's about turning obstacles into opportunity. I don't have yesterday. My thing is what's happening now. Where am I going from here? What am I doing from here? How am I going to make a change from here? What is my purpose right now? How relevant I am to myself and others right now. That's my purpose. I will lead the way to break barriers for women who wants to lead the way, who wants to do something for themselves, but they don't have the way. They don't think they can do it, but you can do it. You can always do it. I am here again, Lydia Amputees Foundation with the missing piece. And today I am alone. I don't have a guest. I want to do this by myself to talk about breaking barriers, women leading the way. As a woman who has been through a lot, this is very, very important to me to talk about women breaking barrier. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Lydia Gray. I am the founder and president of Lydia Amputees Foundation, and also the host of The Missing Piece. Today, I'm going to talk about women breaking barriers. And my mission today is to talk about how we can embrace disability, illnesses, women, and people of all, or everyone at large, to tell them that in every adversity or in any situation, you can lead the way, and especially for us women. For those of you who don't know why I lead, well, I did not start leading because of my amputation. I've always been a born leader. I've always going above and beyond the status quo to make a difference in life. I've always been an entrepreneur as a woman. I've always tried my best to do whatever I can do. But this time around, why I am leading an Amputees Foundation, it's because it did not start with the amputation. It started when I started making chin-chin to sell at supermarkets. But after my traumatic accident, I said, I have to do something to help amputees or women to show that in every adversity, in every trauma, you can always rise up again and do something with your life. Hence the reason I am here to talk about women breaking barriers. It was not an easy thing for me to do, and it's still not easy for me to do. I discovered that I could help others more after I lost my health. It was not an easy journey. I would like to extend this podcast to first to my Amputees Foundation or my amputee community who may feel that all hope is lost, who may not think that they can do what I am doing right now. Or not everyone can do a podcast or have a foundation, but what others can do, they can always find their niche in how they can reach out. Any adversity in life is not a reason to stop anyone to do what they want to do. What does breaking barrier mean to me? Breaking barriers mean achieving big for me. Let me say this. Achieving big is not even the word. It's making sure that even though things look like I am going higher, I am reaching a pedestal of height, but at the same time, I just feel as though achievement in all aspects is very vital. For me, breaking barriers is not about achieving big. It is about refusing to let labels, circumstances, and losers define who you are. It's about turning obstacles into opportunity. What I mean by turning obstacles into opportunities. When I lost my hand, I could have been in a room crying, feeling sorry for myself, feeling pitiful, not wanting to do anything, creating a pity around me. But I did not want that to happen. Turning obstacles into opportunity has not just started today. I will tell you, when I lost my parents at a young age, it was at that time that I could have turned pity. I could have pitied myself because that was one of the hardest breaking points in my life as an 11-year-old girl, not having parents growing up there. I could have lost my mind, but I stayed steadfast in what I want to do in life. I focused. I was determined. There's a lot of times that I have been through a lot of obstacles, but every time that happens, I still forge ahead. I still put my head up high and did not let that determine me at all. It has always been who I am. That's what I want to do. I've always turned obstacle into opportunity. I have tried my best. I want to say something about an obstacle that happened to me quite recently. Someone gave me a lead about a nonprofit organization who helps other nonprofit organizations in various aspects like disability, women, and all other aspects. I sent them an email. The email returned back to me saying that it was undelivered. I called and nobody answered, but I have their address, which was not so far from where I live. I went to the office where they're located. I knocked on the door. Someone came to the door, cracked the door a little open, and I stayed outside and he stayed behind the door in the little crack. And I asked them, I'm not going to call the name of the organization because I don't know their circumstances why they closed the door in front of my face without even giving me the opportunity to talk to them. The person who came to the door, a young man, asked me why I'm there. I said, someone sent me here to talk to you about nonprofit organization and how you guys could help. Before I could say the second sentence, he said, no, this is not a place. And then I said, is this? I give them the name of the place. He said, yes, but we don't help people. What you're talking about, we don't help them. I said, but in your mission statement, you said you help disability, women, and so forth. No, that's not what we're doing. That's not our mission. And before I could say the next word, he closed the door and left me standing in the hallway. I felt broken. I felt disappointed. I bowed my head and walked away and left the building cold and sad. I was just there to talk about the podcast, the foundation, and how they could help me. So these are some of the obstacles that I faced a lot of times, but it still did not break me at all. I turned around, came home, put myself together, and think about what's my next goal, what's my next mission. Every one of us can turn those obstacles into purpose. And especially for some of us who have gone through trauma. When I look at social media and I see parents, people of traumatic situation, coming out of their shell, saying that they're not going to hide whatever has happened to them. They're coming out because when you're in the social media, you're in the world, you're letting out others see you. And especially the women, they are out there fashioning their disabled children, their children who have gone through traumatic situation, to tell society that even with trauma and disability, we can still lead the way in life. I'm not saying that everyone could do what I am doing, and I will repeat that several times. Not everyone will have a foundation. Not everyone would come out and do a podcast. Not everyone will go out and meet amputees and help them. But we have our purpose in life. Everyone has something that they can do. Every one of us do. And not creating a purpose for yourself could be detrimental. And that's why Lydia is not doing that for myself. I am doing my best to make sure my traumatic situation did not let me stay where I don't want to be. I've always been an extrovert. I've always wanted to do things. One of my darkest moments was when I was thinking, what can I do after this amputation? Having formed the Lydia Amputees Foundation has been the greatest thing for me to come out, because it was then that I was able to tell everyone that I lost my hand. It was then that I was able to walk around without feeling ashamed, without feeling embarrassed, without saying I could stand in front of anybody and speak and hold my hand up. I found a purpose for me, Lydia, to be relevant as a woman. As a woman leading the way, sometimes we feel unnoticed. And I am going to go there right now. As a woman, Black with an accent living in the United States, it is hard for us to be noticed. I have had this foundation for almost 5 years now. I could tell you that I am still struggling with the foundation. I felt like I am not noticed. Nobody is seeing me. Even when I am writing, I am talking, I am out there, I am doing things, I still feel like nobody is seeing me. I will give a prime example. I went to a physical therapy. I'm going to a physical therapy where I have been for several months going there. And I signed my name. The receptionist called me up and say, Lydia, go sit down there, go start your work, and da 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 da. And one day they have a younger student, or I think he was a student, yes, coming in for an internship to help at the physical therapy location. He noticed my hand and he said, you have a prosthetic hand. I said, yes, I do. And then he said, does it work? I said, yes. I turned it on like I usually do to bluff around to say, yes, my prosthetic hand works. And the lady at the front desk then said to me, are you the lady on Facebook and other places that I see all the time? And I said, yes. I said, I did not know that was you. And that was when she noticed me. But all along, she have never realized that I was that person coming to the physical therapy location all this time. So that's some of the missed opportunities that somebody like me face all the time, being unnoticed when leading the way, and especially because of my skin color, and especially because of my accent, and especially because I'm a woman. We are not seen. We are not heard enough. And this is not going to stop me. I am still going to go through the noise, regardless of what it is, how it is, and who is doing it. I don't see race. I don't see discrimination. I don't hear. I don't want to know. I am still going to go through it. I remember one time, James Earl Jones, God rest his soul, he was doing a documentary. When someone asked him, he said, you have grown bigger, higher, respectfully in Hollywood. And in your time when you started acting, you hardly see a Black individual there. He said, how did you do it to master the way to get to where you are? He said to them, and this I am paraphrasing, I just plunged through the way and refused to hear the noise. Refused to see the discrimination. Refused to see the dismissal. I keep going because I know my aim. I know my purpose. I know where I want to be. And where I want to be is where I am at right now and still growing. Those were his exact same. Because if he had said, I cannot, I would not, no, they're discriminating against me. They don't like me. I am Black. I am a man. It would not be be successful today. He persevered and persevered and persevered until he got to where he wants to be. And I'm not saying that I am going to be like him. I'm just saying that I am going to try my best to go as far as I could go in life. And especially for us women with disability, we cannot stop. When I talk about disability, I am not talking about physical disability alone. I am talking about mental health, these other disabilities, including mental health. There are a lot of people who are suffering from internal disability, but they're not able to come out and say it. With the physical disability, everybody can see it and say, yes, you are disabled. It's obvious. But those that are also suffering from other type of disability that is not so physically shown, it is also good for us to all to come out and talk about it. Talk about what we are suffering from inside. Mental health is one of the hardest ones at these days. A lot of people, a lot of disabled individuals are going through mental health disability. Yesterday, I was talking to someone and he talked about how his son is going through some mental challenges. And he does not understand why. How? What is going on? And a lot of us, parents who have children, young adults, teenagers, a lot of them are going through some mental stresses that we cannot pinpoint and find the answer to. How do we break the barrier and get to help those our children? And for those who are also disabled, they are seeing themselves as saying they are not whole, they are half off because they are not normal. Their disability make them feel abnormal, but they're not. Their mental capability is still stronger than their disability. We have to help their mental health so that their mental health could get them to understand that whatever physical disability they have, it should not affect their mental health. And I am so glad to see some parents coming out talking about mental health for their children, and especially us women. With mental health, we have to identify and find ways to heal. We have to learn to give ourselves grace. We have to learn how to ask for help. We have to learn that healing means forgetting what happened. It means using it to grow. Mental health is hard. During trauma, any kind of circumstances, we go through some kind of mental breakdown, but we have to seek help. Where do we go? Who do we talk to? Your identity is not defined by what you lost. It is defined by what you survived. We can always come back and talk about our loss, but we can also find ways to say, even though I lost something, but look at me now. I am doing it. So what advice do we have for women who are breaking barriers? We have to give ourselves permission to be human. We don't have to be strong every day. I am not. I have days that I am broken. I have days that I feel despondent. I have days that I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to be in myself because some days are not every day. Everybody have their breaking days when they feel like everything, the wall is crashing over them. But it is not all is lost. Asking for people to support you is not a bad thing. I don't have no fear banging on doors, asking, looking, talking to anyone. I need help. I need support. Yeah, I am good at that. And I know that it is one of the difficult things to do, meeting people and saying that we need some kind of help. But it should not stop us from doing it. It shouldn't. We should be able to go out and try. Because if we don't ask for support, how would we get support? How would we get support? We have to use our voice. I always say to myself, whenever I talk to people, I'm able to get what I am asking for because I still believe in physical interaction, meeting someone and asking for help. Physical interaction do help sometimes. It's either a yes or no. but there may be someone who will come to our aid, because this is not just for me. I am talking about everyone. I am talking about every woman who wants to find their purpose. And if you want to find your purpose, you have to go for it. Look for it. Ask for it. What's my mission moving forward? My purpose now is to create safe space and programs where amputees and people with disability feel supported, empowered, and uplifted. And that has been my ultimate mission from the beginning. I have helped a lot of amputees who have come my way. Some who ask me questions, some who reached out to me. I started this podcast because other amputees are asking me about things that I cannot answer. So I seek the ones who have the answer to come out and talk about those things. There is a lot of things that we don't know, that others know, that they can direct us to be. When I need help, when an amputee reach out to me, I reach out to the resources that I could find. I have people that I could call and say, where can I go? Who can I help? What can I do? At the same time, it is a hard journey for me. Hard journey, where you send letters out, you send emails, you send texts, you call, and to no avail. But my purpose does not stop. My vision in moving forward is still there. I'm going to say something that Rosa Parks said: in moving forward, in making sure there are changes in life. This is a quote from Rosa Parks. You must never be fearful about what you're doing when it is right. Rosa Parks was one of the pioneers of the civil rights movement in the United States. And we have to believe that whatever I am doing it for the right thing. I am not doing it to enrich myself. I am not doing it because I want to put money in my pocket. In fact, in the past 5 years, I am taking money out of my pockets to make sure this program succeed, to make sure this foundation go on, to make sure this foundation is seen, to continue putting it out there, making it something that somebody could say, amputees are around. We are not seen enough. We are not heard enough. Our purpose are not talked about enough. I am doing this not just to help me, Lydia, as an individual. I am doing this to also help people with disability, amputees, everybody. We as women can stand out and become who we want to be. I always tell people, I don't have yesterday. My thing is what's happening now. Where am I going from here? What am I doing from here? How am I going to make a change from here? What is my purpose right now? How relevant I am to myself and others right now. That's my purpose. Yesterday and tomorrow is not what I do, because tomorrow will never come. Yesterday is an hindrance to make today a purpose. Today, I will lead the way to break barriers for women who wants to lead the way, who wants to do something for themselves, but they don't have the way. They don't think they can do it, but you can do it. You can always do it. In closing, to every woman listening right now, let's recite this. You are powerful. You are needed. And you are worthy of breaking every barrier in your path. I'm saying it again in closing. And to every woman who wants to sit in this chair like me, who wants to stand in a podium like me, who wants to stand in a crowd like me, you are powerful, you are needed, and you are worthy of breaking every barrier. The Missing Piece, Lydia Amputees Foundation, stories of resilience, voices of hope. Thank you for listening. Thank you for this podcast. Thank you for being my support. You are out there, and I know it. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in into The Missing Piece. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more listeners and amplify more voices. Until next time, keep finding strength in your story.